Hi there, Carol with Verdure Well here on my Wellness Wednesdays, and we're discussing things to do to energize our bodies so that we can thrive. Last week we talked about some kind of general things, and I left this chart up. We talked about our body and how we need water, food, and air, basic things. We need to move, and we need adventure or things that interest us. And in our home, it's always good to have a clean home because it'll keep bacteria out and dust and bugs and things like that. It's always also good to organize our home because it makes it so that it's a little easier to find things, so you're not just kind of rooting through things at the very last minute. And in our environment, for me, I like to have space in my environment, and I like to have clean air. Now, post below if any of those things made sense to you. I kind of look at us all like we're snowflakes. We're all different in what we need and what we want in our lives. And so there may be things that I've not covered here that you might be more interested in. So today we're going to take it just a little bit deeper. We're going to go into some specific things that we can do with our food and our water and our air that directly affects our body. And I hope that feel free to just write out a little comment below if you want. So with food, let's see. First, I'm just going to erase some of these things because we've already talked about some of this stuff. And today we're going to talk about food, air, and water, and we'll write down a few things. So it looks a little messy there, but we've already covered all this stuff. So when it comes to food, what is it that we need to thrive? Well, one easy thing and one easy way to thrive is to buy certified organic food wherever possible. Now, it's not always possible to buy certified organic, but what happens when you do that is those products have been certified that they have not been grown in soils where pesticides have been used or herbicides, and so it's a real simple way to go, oh, I don't need those kind of toxins in my body because my body's not this toxic dump that I want to put those kind of pesticides in. I wouldn't knowingly put pesticides and herbicides in my body, and so if I want to eat good food, if I want to thrive, I always want to be able to eat food that doesn't have pesticides in it, so certified organic. Now, the concept of toxins in our body is kind of an interesting idea. We often think of toxins as being things like herbicides and pesticides, but really it's just anything that your body doesn't understand. So we're in this very natural, organic body, right? So it only understands natural, organic substances, truly understands those things. And so if we have certain allergies to food, for some reason our body is not understanding those particular items that we're allergic to. And so then they become toxic. Now, I grew up thinking that I never had an allergy. And if you knew me now, you'd realize that I've had quite a few allergies that I've had to learn how to clean from my body. And so I had a lot of health problems over the last several years, from the time I was 40 on, that I've dealt with, because I had a lot of food allergies. The other thing that our body can react to is food that is manufactured, or food products is kind of what we call them. So food products like fortified food products like cereals and so forth that say that they're fortified. They're fortified because the manufacturers have cooked them so much that there's no more nutrition in them, so they have to, by USDA standards, they have to put certain vitamins in there to say that they're nutritious and good for us. So you can avoid those things quite easily by not buying food products. And then also things that might cause you pain. So we want to avoid stuff that causes pain. We want to avoid food products. And we want to avoid food that is toxic. So we thrive on whole foods, so meaning foods that aren't processed, of course. So, hi Linnell, thanks for watching. Say hi if you can, that'd be great. So, if we can avoid all of those food products and we just eat whole foods, then our bodies react better. We're all kind of like snowflakes, right? Each body is different and we all react differently. Not any of us react the same to different kinds of food. So the story I want to tell you about is a story that I had recently when I went to eat breakfast with my husband, and we stopped at a local diner that had this lovely little counter. We sat up at the counter, and unbeknownst to me was the gentleman who was eating next door to me, and he had 2 cinnamon rolls that had been fried for like French toast that he was actually pouring syrup on. So there's this aroma of sweetness. There's a pain that entered my head right here. And of course, when, you know, it's like somebody had thrown a rock at me. And so I looked, and I looked for where that aroma was coming from, where the pain was coming from. And I didn't even know how to react to that because I'm 65 years old. I've been eating sugar my entire life. And it had an immediate reaction to me, that much sugar. Now, I don't eat sugar too much anymore. I usually eat very natural forms of sugar, and that's been going on for several years. However, this overload of confectioner sugar created this amazing allergic reaction in me that I didn't know I had. Do you guys have any reactions to food like that have surprised you? So go ahead and post below if you can think of one, and we can talk about it. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So things like that are allergic reactions that are toxic to our body. It's taken a long time for me to recognize, because you eat little bits of sugar, little bits of these things all along, your body kind of gets used to them and doesn't react so much. And then maybe you pull away from them for a while, and all of a sudden you get a reaction. So that was a really strong reaction, taught me a lot. So the other thing I want to talk about is water. Water is really important for us to be able to thrive. And drinking clean water is really important. Sometimes it's hard to know what's clean water. You think what's coming out of your faucet is clean water, but even water that's been tested through the city is not particularly clean. Or maybe it has a lot of minerals in it. So I've moved to Colorado recently, and the water here is so hard it feels like you're drinking rocks, literally. And so we had to put in a water softener in order to make it soft enough that we could drink it. But then we also put in what is called a reverse osmosis system, because that takes out the rest of the toxins that can cause your body to react poorly. So any kind of filtered water, even if you use a Brita pitcher for drinking water and for cooking water, things like that are just really important. Is there anything that you guys do to filter your water? Are you on well water, city water? Have you ever thought about that? I'd love to know. So comment if you can. So what you want to avoid with water is water that is toxic, because when it goes into your body doesn't recognize it. My body had a really hard time when we first moved here because there was way too much minerals in it, and I could hardly drink it. Even though I drink a lot of water, I could hardly drink it. We were actually buying bottled water because it was so hard. The other thing you want to avoid is water that's in plastics. Now, there's been a lot of talk about how plastics are bad for our environment, and all these plastic bottles are, filling up our oceans and, in our waste dumps and so forth. But the thing is when you drink water that has been stored in plastic for a period of time, that water has absorbed some of those plastic chemicals, and it's in the water that you're drinking. So it's a really good idea, not because of your body, to keep the toxins out of your body, not to drink water that's stored in plastic. And then something else that's pretty simple, and if I'm talking too much, please just go ahead and post, and I'm happy to stop and talk about some of your experiences. I'd love to hear them. So then the other thing is the air that we breathe. Now for me, air, it's a source of life. But what we do, especially as we get older, is we tend to breathe to here. When we take a breath, we rarely breathe all the way down to our stomachs. So what you can do, and I recommend to do this like 4 times a day, is to do a little breathing meditation where you take a deep breath and you count to 4 as you're taking the deep breath. You hold it for a count of 4, and then you let it out for a count of 5. So let's go ahead and try that. So just where you're at, just kind of close your eyes, take a deep breath, feel your stomach expand with the air, and do this to a count of 4, and then hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it go for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do this 3 more times. Take a deep breath to a count of 4. Let your stomach expand as your diaphragm moves down and your lungs fill with all of the air. Hold it for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let it go to a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to add something in here. As you're letting it go, clench your fists, because that helps you to push that air out. It makes you aware that you're pushing it out through your stomach. So deep breath, let all your muscles go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. Clench your fists. Squeeze your stomach. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Clench your fists. Let the air go. 2, 3, 4. This is a great way to expand the limits of your lungs so that you don't get into this habit, and you'll find that it just kind of calms you. If you have, I know, Linnell, you have young children coming up, and so just doing a quick meditation 3 or 4 times a day can really help. And I know, Rachel, you've got issues that you're dealing with, and so this kind of quick meditation gives you fresh air into your lungs all the way down and fills them completely, and just kind of energizes you for the rest of the day. So, there you go. Here's your 3 tips. Food, eat organic wherever possible. Know your toxins, know your allergies. Pay attention when you get some notice in your body that something isn't going right. Maybe your stomach hurts. Maybe you get a feeling like you have a rock thrown against your head. You don't know why. Pay attention to those things. Drink clean, filtered water. No water in plastics, because not only does it hurt our environment, it hurts us inside. And then do a breathing meditation 4 times a day. Is there anything that you would like to add? Those of you who are watching, just comment below, or you can comment below afterwards, and I'm happy to comment back. And I appreciate you watching, and if you just subscribe to the videos, I'll be doing this every Wednesday. Next week, we're talking about reducing our cravings, cutting our cravings. Okay, it's almost Halloween, and we get into a thing where we eat more sugar, and so cutting the cravings, learning how to get a handle on those cravings is a really good time before the holiday season. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday at noon Pacific Standard Time and 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. See you then. Thank you. Bye.